Hi there, Libra. Welcome to your end of April 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Serena here. So, we're coming into the season of Taurus, and Taurus for you is the 8th house. So this can be a time that is very intense, where you are digging below the surface in your life. You're not taking anything at face value, and really this can, cover many areas of life, but you just may simply be somebody who is really getting to the heart of the matter and maybe even transforming yourself. We are having a new moon in this area on the 22nd of April. So it's within a few days of this recording. And therefore, it's coming up as I, do this. Wow, you have a lot of major arcana cards here. This is very good. It's almost like I sense a lot of masculine energy, but it's I don't know, it just feels like a lot of men in here. So, let's take the past position too, because this is what's coming. This influence is what is coming from the past, the Lovers card. This is, self-explanatory, lovers, but in terms of a choice that you know is something that you have to make or that you have recently made. But it can be getting intimate with somebody. Now we have the Hangman. The Hangman is a card of, being in limbo for some reason. So, feeling like you're hanging, you're twisting in the wind. If you feel like someone has promised you something, like they're going to be with you, and then it feels like it's not happening. And you feel like you're twisting in the wind, that you're in this state where you can't do anything. You're kind of like stuck in this place. And really, sometimes it can be like a waiting period, because maybe that person needs to get divorced. Maybe they're overseas somewhere else and they're not with you physically. The Lovers card can also be two people going into business together, like a partnership. It just seems so geared more towards the romantic side of things by the nature of the picture of those nude people. So, it's hard to imagine it otherwise. It's connected to the sign of Gemini, which is kind of funny because Gemini doesn't seem like the Lovers to me, but whatever. And really, also with the Hangman, there can be this sense of surrender, which is giving into the situation. If you have been somebody who, maybe a Libra person who's once bitten, twice shy, and you're not really sure you want to be in a relationship, because what if that person does what the other jerk did? If your Venus is in Scorpio, being a Sun in Libra, this may be, or even Mercury, where your mind is remembering past hurts and is suspicious, if you have water sign moon and you're very sensitive by nature, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and you're not the typical Libra that is, that in love with love, but very detached and able to kind of bounce back very easily. This may be something where it feels very uncomfortable, because you do have to give into it. You can't just keep your distance from that person, because you may have had walls up and you realize that that's not going to work. The higher message, the 6 of Wands. In love, I've been getting this card a lot, and I think that for whatever reason, people need to hear the message of feeling like you deserve to be adored, deserving adoration. This is a card of, like in a career. Well, this is a general reading. All of a sudden I lapsed into a love reading. So, I'll talk about that career-wise. But if this is a love situation, I've been getting that card when I was doing the love readings for May, and I usually think of that card associated with career accolades and kind of taking your bow, kind of strutting your stuff, But in a romantic relationship, how I view this card is more along the lines of being deserving of praise, of worthy of being cherished by your partner. And that sounds, for some people, that may seem like that is not how it should be. That you should not be adored. You should be, that you might think that that is a weird thing for me to say, but I really honestly believe that anything less than that is, well, I was going to say not acceptable, which isn't true, but I just think that that is the ultimate expression. When somebody is so crazy about you, it's not just kind of like that infatuation stage, but they really think that you're an amazing person. That can go so far in terms of healing, past insecurities and things like that. It doesn't, totally do that. Only we can fully heal ourselves, but it really makes us see a different point of view. If you were overly criticized when you were growing up, and now you have somebody who sings your praises. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful, and you're absolutely deserving of it. So you have to decide whether or not, if this is a relationship, whether or not it's worth it. This can be some kind of a situation at work where you're waiting to hear what the verdict is. Maybe you have applied for some position and you took that choice. You wanted to kind of like ascend, so to speak. And now you're waiting to hear. Well, the Six of Wands suggests victory. This is not necessarily the predictive part, though, but it is saying that you're deserving of it. Let's put it that way, in the bigger picture, in the grand scheme of things. And anything that doesn't kind of like do that, if you're being kind of jerked around by your employer, you have to say, is this honoring myself? What crosses you is the Hierophant. So I think that with Libra, because to me, when I think of career in this card, I think of like a corporate environment where you are kind of asked to fit in to their corporate culture. And I think Libras are perfect for that, because you're the kind of people who get along well with others, you play nice with others, and you are very, you have the social graces. I wouldn't last a day in that environment. Not because I'm not nice, but because I just don't like that kind of atmosphere. But you do very well, and I think that people tend to be successful when they are popular, when they're well liked because people want to help them, and when they have that desire to fit into that. Those who don't wish to fit into that always feel like they're on the outside looking in. That's what I was talking about with me. But with you, this is something that comes naturally to you, or natural, I should say. And yet, it may not be the right thing for you. It may not be the right fit at this time. This may be a time when you are called upon to have your own business, for instance, or to do something different than you've done before. Maybe you've mastered this type of environment at work, and you are looking for something completely different. But you don't know how to go about that. You don't know how to navigate that. If this is a relationship issue, if you're looking for marriage, if you're looking for that, if you're of a childbearing age and you want that family and you want that lifestyle, this person may not be for you. This may be like an affair. The Lover's card can be intimacy, and it can be emotional intimacy, but by the same token, it could be like this hot and heavy affair. And so only you will know based upon that other person's actions. But you can't make it so just because it's what you want. So you have to be willing to see things as they are. The Hierophant connects to the sign of Taurus. I don't know why. I think it should be Sagittarius, but I'm just telling you. And there's one tarot expert, or whatever you want to call him, who did put Sagittarius for this card, because this is a card of the spiritual or religious, you could say, higher learning, and these are areas that Sagittarius is connected to. But in any case, this may indicate that you're interacting with things in your life at more of a material level than a spiritual one, and that it may be impacting your ability to navigate or go through your life in a way that really is ultimately the most enriching, because it's not just career success, and it's not just love. Those things are important, but when they are infused with the spiritual path, they become magical. And if you try to engage in a certain area and you're not bringing in that spiritual path, and you're just trying to climb that ladder of success, and you don't have any kind of, I would call it like a life philosophy, the way that you kind of view life as a whole. If you don't have that way of looking at things, then you're kind of just treading the surface, scratching the surface, and you won't really be able to appreciate it. There are lots of people who are spiritual aspirants who also have careers, and that's like, you can do both. And those people, they put everything in perspective. So in other words, they're not like, if the hangman is, will I or will I not get that promotion? They are like that Six of Wands. I'm already successful. I don't need something outside of myself to prove to me that I am worthy, that I am successful. I'm by my birthright, that is already the case. And so, but you can still, be looking forward to it and saying, boy, I hope that I get that. That's going to be so cool when I get that. What's coming in, these two cards, these are like amazing for expansion. The King of Pentacles, really great power over your finances, being, kind of a master of them, maybe attracting a lot more, or attracting people who are willing to finance you. If this is like the head of a bank, or, a loan officer, what have you, who believes in you and is willing to give you, if you're thinking about starting your own business, if that's what the Hangman represents to you, thinking you're going into a partnership, but actually maybe doing it alone, and having others help you to do that. And the outcome card also is a very positive one. The Three of Wands is a card of expansion. The number 3 is a number of abundance, and there's a lot of passion. If this is a particular project of yours, this is what do they call that? A labor of love. But this is entrepreneurial energy, and also even conquering geographical distances. Actually, come to think of it, your 9th house would be Gemini. And the truth is that Libra, you're going to have in May the North Node going into that 10th house. Although, the way the North Node transits, it'll be going in there. And this will be in in the first week of May. And so, that it all depends on your individual chart for the exact timing. But the point being is that it's the North Node has been in your 10th house, and now it's going into your 9th house. That's the way that it transits, what I would call backwards. And what that means is that you may have had career advancement in the last 18 months, and now there's the spiritual angle to it. But this can actually mean that for some people, they are incorporating some sort of spiritual practice to a business or career. And I mean that's the theme, or even like long distance travel becomes important for your career goals. Or you could say even like spiritual life. And I feel like people who are very, who sense that they are really going through an active awakening at a certain time, that's going to affect all areas of your life, including your love life. And I think that if you are kind of like stuck, waiting for somebody, I think with the Three of Wands, you're going to just finally have enough. And that is so true of Libra anyway, just by your nature. It's like you really, if you care for somebody, you will be attached to them romantically, but at a certain point you can detach yourself and you can move on. And that's one of the nice sides to Libra. So in any case, I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you'd like a private reading, most of my readings are astrologically based. So check me out. The link is below. I'm at RainaMoonAstrology.com. Take care. Bye.